How are you? I don't think he has it. Will, how are you?
Good afternoon, Director. How are you?
I need to everybody turn their volume up just a little bit. One more.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, over here. Yeah. Northeast.
Video.
We're good? We're good. If you want me to start, we can.
James, you can get started. Yep.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the July 10th, 2024 Urban Enterprise Zone Authority Board Meeting. This meeting will be recorded. Please be advised that when the chair opens the public comment portion of the meeting, members of the public will be able to speak and provide comment. You must slowly provide your first and last name and any organization with which you are affiliated. Please keep your comments to the topic of the Urban Enterprise Zone program and/or authority. Additionally, your comments will be restricted to 2 minutes. I would like now to turn the meeting over to our chair, Aaliyah Couch, to call the meeting to order.
Good afternoon, everyone. In accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, notice of this meeting has been sent to the Bergen Record and the Trentonian at least 48 hours prior to this meeting, and a meeting notice has been posted on the Secretary of State's bulletin board at the Department of State. James, can you please conduct a roll call?
Roll call will be done by calling out each department. When you hear the department you represent, please slowly and clearly say your first and last name. Department of Community Affairs,
Aaliyah Couch.
Department of Labor,
Julie Diaz.
Department of Treasury,
Denise Harding.
New Jersey Economic Development Authority,
Janelle Johnson.
New Jersey Redevelopment Authority. They noticed us that they would not be present, Madam Chair. Public members, Carmen Mendiola, William Johnson,
Present.
Douglas Schneider.
Present.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum.
Before you are the minutes from the June 10th, 2024 UEZA board meeting for review and approval. I kindly request that board members state their name for the record when making a motion or second. Do I have a motion to approve the June 10th UEZ board meeting minutes?
Motion, Julie Diaz.
Do I have a second?
Denise Harding, second.
James, can we have a roll call?
Aaliyah Couch,
Yes.
Denise Harding,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Janelle Johnson,
Yes.
William Johnson,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider.
Yes.
The minutes are approved.
Moving forward with the agenda, we have the executive director's report to the board and 24 items that fall under new business. Executive Director Slaughter, please give your report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Over the last month, UEZ staff and I have been very busy with the following endeavors. We've reached out to our partner communities to remind them that we are transitioning from the COVID era state of emergency approach to a business to the longer term 5-year master plan preliminary zone development plan as intended with the reconceptualization of the program back in 2001. The UEZ has received 2 submissions for the 5-year master plan, and the documents are currently under review by the staff. Once the plans are reviewed and found to be consistent with the legislation, it'll be moved forward to the UEZA board at an upcoming meeting. The plans will then be reviewed by the UEZ board for consideration and approval. So far, the plans are quite large, so we're working on developing a system that will allow the board time for review before voting. In addition, the Urban Enterprise Zone Authority has established an audit schedule. We will be taking on now 2 audits per week for the next month. In addition, we are going through with the process to be hiring a regulatory officer to address technical issues such as regulations, bylaws, meeting protocol, and legislation. In addition, we have looked to see if we can backfill our auditor 2 position. However, in the interim, we're looking to go outside for as far as outside consulting. In addition, we are exploring economic development concepts and how the UEZA can be a catalyst along with other agencies, both state and federal, to initiate change. We're exploring economic development ventures that fit within our scope of our mission. We welcome your thoughts from our UEZ partners, from our board members, and identifying program and policies that enhance the community through economic development initiatives. We will also be sending 2 dates for board member training, with the highest number of attendees will be picked as the board training date. That will be sent out to you very shortly, and we hope that we can get things organized. I would hope that our public members who did attend the first session enjoyed themselves, and we hope that we can make the training informative and also to deal with a lot of the issues. So these are the issues that occurred during the past 30 days, and thank you very much for the time to present this to you. I turn it back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, James. I think it goes to Rasha.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. It actually goes to me. We will now review our project proposals for consideration by the Board of Commissioners. To have adequate consideration for each resolution, a UEZ board roll call is enacted. Rasha will be reading the roll call for the UEZ coordinators.
Good afternoon. We kindly request when it's your turn to present your project that you turn on your camera so there can be direct interaction between you and the board. Please state your name to confirm your attendance. If there is no representation, your application request will be tabled until the next meeting. Elizabeth?
Bill O'Day, Executive Director, Elizabeth Development Company.
Gloucester City?
Hi, Lori Ryan, Director of Community Development and UEZ Coordinator for Gloucester City.
Lakewood?
David Klein, Coordinator, Lakewood UEZ.
Long Branch?
Richard Thompson, UEZ Coordinator, City of Long Branch.
Millville?
Heather Santoro, UEZ Coordinator.
New Brunswick? Passaic?
Sorry,
New Brunswick's here. Sorry.
Okay.
Ricardo Fernandez for the city of Passaic here.
Plainfield?
Jeanette Aparicio, UEZ Coordinator.
Vineland?
Sandy Forrest-Siskey, Director of Economic Development and UEZ Coordinator.
The Wildwoods?
UEZ Coordinator for the Wildwoods.
Roselle?
Samantha Carpio, Director of Economic Development.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Ross. We have 24 action items on our agenda, and our first new item is the approval of Elizabeth UEZ fiscal year 25 equipment improvements in the amount of $940,000. Before we begin, are there any recusals or abstentions? Okay, Mr. O'Day, would you walk us through this project?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. The Elizabeth UEZ is requesting $940,000 to perform equipment improvements, upgrades that allow for greater shopper access to the Elizabeth UEZ during the holiday season. This includes the purchase of 105 T2 pay stations that will be operated by the Elizabeth Parking Authority. This will allow, for the first time, the city and the EPA to deliver free holiday parking to the 1,200 metered spaces throughout the city of Elizabeth to enhance investment in sales within the zone during the holiday season. This discount equates out to $16,200 per day over a 30-day holiday shopping period per year, or $486,000 per year for a period of 5 years, which would equal out to a total of $2,430,000 in discount savings. Now, it's our belief and intent that this free parking shall continue beyond that 5-year period, as we have the support of all the special improvement districts and shopping districts that are impacted by the metered park. And each individual parking will be allowed and granted 3 hours of free parking as a result of this. The challenge in the past has been without the upgraded and updated system, they would put over meters bags. The challenge with that is, how do you limit that to 3 hours? So there would have been an issue, as has been in other places, of people literally, because many of these shopping districts border residential areas, of those spaces not being taken up by shoppers, but being taken up for the day or longer by individuals that may be residents or even employees. With this updated equipment, you'll be able to monitor and control and ensure that those spaces are only available for 3-hour periods. Otherwise, those individuals will be ticketed the way they would be ticketed at any normal time for not paying during the periods of the year that they would have to pay. If anyone has any questions?
All right, thank you, Mr. O'Day. Seeing no questions from the board members, may I have a motion for the approval for Elizabeth?
Motion, Carmen Mendiola.
Have a second?
Second,
Julie
Denise
Diaz.
Harting.
James, may I have a roll call vote?
Aaliyah Couch,
Yes.
Denise Harding,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Janelle Johnson,
Yes.
William Johnson,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider.
Yes.
The motion carries.
All right, thank you, Mr. O'Day.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you.
Next up for consideration, 2 projects for Gloucester City. These projects are Gloucester City UEZ OEM drones project in the amount of $40,000 and Gloucester City UEZ admin budget for fiscal year 25 in the amount of $50,000. Before we begin, are there any recusals or abstentions? All right, Ms. Ryan, could you provide a brief summary for each of these projects?
Sure. Hi. The first project is for our drones project. Currently, we don't have any drones available to the police department and fire department. However, we are along the waterfront. So it would provide a great benefit to our UEZ area, which is also on the waterfront. And we're really thankful that we can provide these funds to the police and fire and emergency services to be able to have drone access and training for these devices.
It's great. Are there any questions by the board members at this time? All right, may I have a motion for the approval for the 2 Gloucester City program proposals?
Motion, Doug Schneider.
Second,
Janelle Johnson.
James, can I have a roll call vote?
Aaliyah Couch,
Yes.
Denise Harding,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Janelle Johnson,
Yes.
William Johnson,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider.
Yes.
The two motions for Gloucester City carry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Next up for consideration, two projects for Lakewood. These projects are Lakewood UEZ admin budget for July 1 to December 31st, 2024 in the amount of $453,346, and Lakewood UEZ Business Directory Outreach and Marketing in the amount of $90,000. Before we begin, are there any recusals or abstentions? All right, Mr. Klein, would you provide a brief summary for each of these items?
Sure, and thank you, Madam Chair, for this opportunity to present these two projects. So the first project is Lakewood UEZ is requesting these project funds to make possible the continued funding of its administration and project management of the Lakewood Urban Enterprise Zone program. The proceeds of this award will be used to cover the costs associated with personnel and administration expenses associated with projects and activities that will lead to increased economic activity, encouraging private investment and job creation. So that's the admin budget project. The second project is the UEZ Business Directory Outreach and Marketing Project, and the Lakewood UEZ is requesting $90,000 to hire a professional firm to create an online business directory and jobs board, and to provide services that will enable the Lakewood UEZ to highlight and promote the successes of the Lakewood Urban Enterprise Zone. We anticipate that the Lakewood UEZ Business Directory Outreach and Marketing Project will greatly increase qualified UEZ business registration and participation in the program. A primary goal of the Lakewood UEZ is to be as inclusive as possible and bring as many businesses as possible that qualify for the program into the program. In addition, the business directory will enable Lakewood UEZ businesses the opportunity to gain public awareness and exposure, thereby increasing or potentially increasing gross sales and providing for economic development and expansion. The jobs board will enable UEZ businesses to post their available job positions in a maximum exposure environment, and thereby meet a primary mission goal of the UEZ program. The marketing and public relations component of the project will further increase awareness of the UEZ program and its benefits to businesses and the public at large. This project will further Lakewood Township's growing need to keep its businesses to help its businesses improve their economic standing and encourage all qualified businesses to register in the program. And once again, thank you, Madam Chair, for this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you for that overview. Are there any questions by the board members? All right, may I have a motion for the approval of the two Lakewood program proposals?
Motion Denise Harding.
Can I have a
Doug
second?
Schneider.
Thank you. James, may I have a roll call vote?
Aaliyah Couch,
Yes.
Denise Harding,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Janelle Johnson,
Yes.
William Johnson,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider.
Yes.
The two motions for Lakewood carry.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Next up for consideration, two projects for Long Branch. These projects are Long Branch UEZ Beautification Project in the amount of $168,000 and Long Branch UEZ admin budget for fiscal year 25 in the amount of $90,980. Before we begin, are there any recusals or abstentions?
Madam Chair, Will Johnson, I'll have to recuse myself, please.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Thompson, would you please provide us a brief summary for each
Sure.
of these projects? Thanks.
The project for the city of Long Branch is an administrative budget totaling $90,980. The administrative budget aims to provide funds necessary to keep the Long Branch UEZ up and running and continue economic development in the city of Long Branch. Budget is divided into two separate categories: personnel totaling $80,000 in salary for the coordinator who will be responsible for the day-to-day operations of the Long Branch UEZ, a UEZ secretary who will assist businesses in the certification process, and a data entry clerk who will be responsible for keeping accurate records of all UEZ activities. Second category of the budget is dedicated to items that will keep the Long Branch UEZ running, including training and travel, advertising, and equipment purchases. And then for the beautification project before you is our proposed beautification project, which comes to $168,000 requested for UEZ funds. Funding will serve two purposes. The first purpose is to purchase and install from a New Jersey vendor 12 park benches that will be placed within the Long Branch UEZ business districts and serve the purpose of increasing pedestrian foot traffic in the zone. The second portion of the project is to purchase and install of 2 seasonal flower plantings, which will encompass flower beds and flower planters all throughout the Long Branch UEZ. And this will increase the beautification of the zone, which will result in increased business. The plantings would go through a RFP process to determine the lowest and most qualified bid. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Are there any questions by the board members at this time? All right, may I have a motion for the approval for the 2 Long Branch program proposals?
Motion, Carmen Mendiola.
Have a second?
Second, Julie Diaz.
Thanks, Julie. James, may I have a roll call vote?
Leah Couch,
Yes.
Denise Harding,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Janelle Johnson,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider.
Yes.
The 2 motions for Long Branch carry.
All right, thank you. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Next up, yep, take care. Next up for consideration, 2 projects for Millville. These projects are approval of Millville UEZ admin budget for fiscal year 25 in the amount of $150,000 and the approval of Millville UEZ Central Business District Phase 2 in the amount of $550,000. Before we begin, are there any recusals or abstentions? All right, Ms. Santoro, would you provide a brief summary for each of these projects?
Sure, thank you, Madam Chair. The first one is our UEZ admin budget, which allows us to continue to operate the UEZ program. It also, Millville is part of the Vineland-Millville Enterprise Zone Development Corporation, so some of the costs go to the operation of that. The Millville Central Business District Phase 2 project continues what began in Phase 1 of sidewalk repair, hazardous tree removal, and lighting improvements in our Central Business District, which is in the heart of Millville's UEZ.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions by the board members at this time? All right, may I have a motion for the approval of the 2 Millville program proposals?
Motion, Doug Schneider.
Second.
Janelle Johnson.
James, may I have a roll call vote?
Leah Couch,
Yes.
Denise Harding,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Janelle Johnson,
Yes.
William Johnson,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider.
Yes.
The 2 motions for Millville carry.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Take care. Our next item is approval of New Brunswick UEZ Clean Team in the amount of $155,000. Before we begin, are there any recusals or abstentions?
Madam Chair, I'll recuse myself, Doug Schneider.
All right, thanks, Doug. Mr. Dominguez, could you walk us through this project?
Sure, thank you. Thank you, members of the board. This is the city requesting for a second year of our expanded New Brunswick Clean Team project. We just wrapped up our first year of our expanded Clean Team project with UEZ funds, and we're looking to continue it going forward as we add additional man hours to cleaning our vital economic corridors in the UEZ areas.
Got it. Thank you. Are there any questions by the board members? All right, I have a motion for the approval for this request proposal for New Brunswick.
Motion Denise Harding.
Can I have a second?
Second, Will
Second.
Johnson.
Harmon.
Thanks. James, may I have a roll call vote?
Aaliyah Couch,
Yes.
Denise Harding,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Janelle Johnson,
Yes.
William Johnson,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola.
Yes.
The two motions carry.
Thank
The
you.
motion carries, excuse me.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you. Next up for consideration, 2 projects for Passaic. These projects are Passaic UEZ Business Area Transportation Project in the amount of $530,000 and Passaic UEZ Workforce Training Program in the amount of $100,000. Before we begin, are there any recusals or abstentions? All right, Mr. Fernandez, could you provide us a brief summary for each?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Well, the UEZ transportation program, we're very excited about. The city of Passaic, at least through the last 2 census rounds, has one of the lowest car ownerships within the state of New Jersey. And some of the areas that we're within the UEZ zone is our more densely populated, lower income areas of the municipality, making it difficult for some of our residents to get to some of the wider known businesses like the ShopRite, our downtown business district, things of that nature. And we've been collaborating with the Center for Community Planning. We have, it's a program where we have all the children from the municipality that want to take part in planning and learning about planning to actually be the ones going out there on the street, selecting locations for this bike share program and this free transportation shuttle. So we're really making it a community effort as we're trying to get this off the ground. We're also working with Easy Ride to get us assistance with the transportation. And we hope to be able, with the bike share program and a free shuttle, get our residents to and from our business districts and really help drive the economic climate within these businesses. For the workforce training program, kind of along the same lines as the transportation program, it's a way to support our UEZ businesses as well as our residents. Some of our highest employers within the city is the hospital and a lot of the ancillary medical fields that are there that surround the hospital. Our Board of Education, the school system, and obviously the city of Passaic. So some of the programs that we've started off with other funds that we wish to expand upon with the training program has been things like phlebotomy, electrocardiography, the Sorrel licenses. And we're trying to get individuals to get their CDL licenses. We have a very large import-export industrial business here in the city of Passaic, which all require these CDL licenses. So not only is it to support the current UEZ businesses, but also give employment opportunities to our residents to take part and find a place to work.
Thank you. Are there any questions by the board members? All right, I have a motion for the approval for the 2. Oh,
Sorry, I actually do
That's
have
okay.
a question. Hello.
Sure.
Ricardo. Have you done any work with our local workforce development board and One Stop in Passaic?
So we have worked with One Stop in the city of Passaic. So we've been very, it's been very helpful to get some of the individuals, working and in and out. And we try to do internship programs with universities and things of that nature to get people in here and started, and with the union trades as well. We've been working with some of the union trades to get apprenticeship programs. So we hope that this can help expand to those other fields that we haven't had an opportunity to expand because there really hasn't been funding for, very limited. So that's why we started with like the EKG and phlebotomy and the Sorrel licenses. But the issue, it's been, because of the funding, it's been a rotation. So this year you get to do phlebotomy. So who wants to do that? And then next year, maybe we'll do CDLs, right? And we kind of do it that way, where with this, we can open it up to having larger cohorts, and the businesses can then select from those individuals that took the courses.
Yes, okay, so we can provide a lot of support on that, either with labor market information or advisement of any additional programs that can enhance whatever work you're looking to do in Passaic. Maybe thinking bigger for later, but it's a new budget year for us, so this is when you make those calls.
Well, that's music to my ears.
Wanted
New
to
budget
Put that
cycle.
out there, we have a new budget, so.
Sounds
Good
good.
luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? All right, may I have a motion for the approval for the two Passaic program proposals?
Motion.
Carmen Mendiola.
Second, Julie Diaz. May I have a roll call vote?
Leah Couch,
Yes.
Denise Harding,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Janelle Johnson,
Yes.
William Johnson,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider.
Yes.
The two motions for Passaic carry.
Thank you all very much.
Yeah, thank you. Take care. Our next item is approval of Plainfield UEZ Police Safety Acquisition in the amount of $300,000. Before we begin, are there any recusals or abstentions? All right, Ms. Aparicio, would you walk us through this project?
Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, members of the authority and fellow UEC coordinators. The city of Plainfield is requesting $300,000 to provide funds necessary to increase security and safety. Excuse me 1 minute. Thank you. We are asking to $300,000 to provide the funds necessary to increase security and safety in the Plainfield UEC. This vehicle will be utilized solely within the Plainfield Urban Enterprise Zone, and the project will have two main goals: to reduce crime, which means that this vehicle will be deployed in designated zones and will be available to respond to emergencies to prevent crimes, reduce crimes and criminal activities, and to make the zone safer. The City of Plainfield Police Department will work with local departments, the business community, the local school board, institutions, church groups, and the general public to institute ways and means to make the Plainfield Urban Enterprise Zone safer for the local business and patrons. As well, I have present accompanying me, Plainfield Police Department Director James Abney, in case of any technical questions or any concerns that you may come up. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Are there any questions by the board members at this time? All right, may I have a motion for the approval for this request proposal for Plainfield?
Motion, Denise Harding.
Can I have a second?
Carmen
Second,
Mendiola.
Thank you, Carmen.
Whichever.
Can I have a roll call vote?
Yep. Leah Couch,
Yes.
Denise Harding,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Janelle Johnson,
Yes.
William Johnson,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Next up for consideration, two projects for Vineland. These projects are a Vineland UEZ administrative budget for fiscal year 25 in the amount of $310,510, and then change of address for Vineland UEZ Main Street Microbrewery project. Before we begin, are there any recusals or abstentions? All right, Ms. Forosinski, could you provide a brief summary for these projects?
Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
The first project is approval of our fiscal year 2025 admin budget. It's to cover part of the salaries for our staffing, for our loan advisor, director of economic development, secretary, accountant, and our UEZ coordinator. And as Millville mentioned, we share a zone with Millville. So there's a portion that goes to supporting the Development Corporation, paying for the insurance and auditing necessary for that corporation. The second project, it was previously approved. It was for a new microbrewery project in the Main Street district, but it was on a side street. And then a new property became available at a very prominent corner right on our Main Street. It involves a renovation. Renovations can be just as costly as new construction, sometimes more, but we're just requesting to move it. Everything stays the same tenant, same landlord, just a much better location.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions? All right, seeing none, may I have a motion for the approval for the two violin program proposals?
Julie Diaz, motion.
Can I have a second?
Second, Doug Schneider.
Thank you. James, can I have a roll call vote? James, you're muted.
Aaliyah Couch,
Yes.
Denise Harding,
Yes.
Julie Diaz.
Yeah.
Janelle Johnson,
Yes.
William Johnson,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider.
Yes.
The two motions for Vineland carry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up for consideration, two projects for Wildwood. These projects are Wildwood UEZ fiscal year 24 Bennett Ave corridor improvements in the amount of $525,000 and Wildwood UEZ admin budget for fiscal year 25 in the amount of $88,895. Before we begin, are there any recusals or abstentions? All right, Mr. Boyd, would you walk us through these projects? Oh, you're muted.
Yes, I am. Good afternoon, board members. The first project is Wildwood's Bennett Avenue Corridor Improvement Project for fiscal year 2024. This is the third such corridor improvement project that provides access to the UEZ area and UEZ businesses along the Wildwood Boardwalk. This one is in the southern portion of the town of the boardwalk. This is essentially a streetscape improvement project for those street ends. It includes new handicap access to the boardwalk, new bike racks, new landscape, new sidewalk, and new aesthetic theming for the ramps leading to the boardwalk that ties in with the current boardwalk reconstruction project that is ongoing in the Wildwoods during the off-season. So this is the same project that we've gotten approved twice over now. This is for the southern end, but Wildwood does hope to continue these street end improvement projects in the future for the other streets, providing access to the boardwalk. That will be included in the 5-year plan that's currently being developed. The goal is to continue to improve the aesthetics and the access to the boardwalk to get people up there. You know, we're a seashore community. Competition for tourism is always high, so we have to continue to make these improvements in order to provide customers to our UEZ businesses. The second project is not so exciting. It's just the admin budget for fiscal year 20. Well, for the first half of the fiscal year 2024. It will provide provide salaries for the UEZ coordinator. Thank you. Some finance personnel and technical assistance to provide help with certifications for new UEZ businesses. It will also provide, mundane operating costs, office supplies, equipment, bills.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any questions by the board members at this time?
I do, Madam Chair. Carmen Mendiola.
Sure.
Mr. Boyd, so is there anything notifying the public, or have you started the work on the boardwalk yet?
The reconstruction of the boardwalk or this particular street end project?
I was there last weekend for the 4th of July. I was at just a hotel on the boardwalk, and it was moving. They had a lot of traffic with people, but I didn't see anything that showed that there was any construction being done or any funds being applied for anything. It didn't identify anything that I didn't see it, and I walked the whole boardwalk.
So So there's no boardwalk construction per se during the summer right now. All the construction takes place in the off season. There is construction, well, the Spicer Avenue Corridor Improvement Project is completed. That one finished last week of June. The Maple Avenue Corridor Improvement Project still has a few punch list items to be taken care of, but it is substantially complete as well. The actual boardwalk reconstruction, if you're walking along the boardwalk, you'll be able to see that there's differences in the type of wood and the decking that's on the boardwalk.
I saw it.
So that is the majority of the funds that are from the
And it needs it. I'll tell you now, it needs it. So good luck with it. Thank you for answering my question.
No problem.
Are there any other questions? And Mr. Boyd, just hang tight because I know you're next on the agenda, so
I
don't
am.
go anywhere. But can I have a motion for the 2 Wildwood program proposals?
I'll motion it, Carmen.
Can I have a second?
Second, Doug
Second.
Schneider.
Thanks, Doug. James, can I have a roll call vote?
Leah Couch,
Yes.
Denise Harding,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Janelle Johnson,
Yes.
William Johnson,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider.
Yes.
The 2 motions for Wildwood carry.
All right, our next project is approval of Wildwood Crest UEZ fiscal year 24 streetscape implementation project in the amount of $74,876. Are there any recusals or abstentions? All right, Mr. Boy, if you want to provide us a quick summary on this.
Sure. So this is a project for Wildwood Crest. It is for essentially streetscape improvements in New Jersey Avenue, UEZ corridor in Wildwood Crest. Some of the board members may remember, but probably not, that last year that Wildwood Crest applied for and was approved for UEZ funds for design and planning for this project. This is the implementation phase of that project. It is a project that partners with Cape May County, New Jersey Avenue is a county road, so they're doing a road reconstruction and basically a lane reduction road diet project to the tune of $4.5 million. Wildwood Crest is contributing about $75,000 to $100,000 of their own municipal funds and applying for this remaining about $75,000 in UEZ funds to contribute towards the project. This will include new event space along New Jersey Avenue, kiosks, bike racks, landscaping, new sidewalks, and improve stormwater and irrigation. Not that that's usually relevant, but the goal is to provide a more attractive business district in Wildwood Crest. Wildwood Crest does not have a large number of businesses. It doesn't have a large UEZ either, but there is a goal there by the administration to attract new businesses to the town. And in order to do that, they're looking to contribute these funds to spruce up the area.
Okay, great. Are there any questions by the board members at this time? All right, may I have a motion for the approval of this program proposal for Wildwood Crest?
Motion, Janelle Johnson.
Okay, have a second. Couldn't hear who that was, sorry. Thank you. James, I have a roll call vote?
Leah Couch,
Yes.
Denise Harding,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Janelle Johnson,
Yes.
William Johnson,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider.
Yes.
The motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up for consideration, 2 projects for Elizabeth. These projects are the authorization for Elizabeth to proceed with the development of a request for proposal for a 5-year plan, and authorization for Elizabeth UEZ's request for proposal for the undertaking of a 5-year plan not to exceed $125,000. Are there any recusals or abstentions? All right, welcome back, Mr. O'Day. Could you just provide us a brief summary for each of these projects? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry.
No worries.
EDC is anxious to proceed on behalf of the city of Elizabeth in preparing the 5-year plan. I've actually brought on board an intern this summer to help do a lot of the prep work, anticipation of issuing the RFP. This resolution will allow us to proceed as early as possible with putting the RFP back out on the street to put it out on the street, to bring on board a consultant to assist us with that process. The second resolution would allow us to expend the dollars up to $125,000 to pay that consultant. However, I don't anticipate we're going to spend nearly that amount because I intend to have much of the work done in-house. But there are areas upon which we will need certain expertise, as well as in order to expedite some of the statistical gathering necessary to move this forward as quickly as possible. Have any questions?
All right, any questions? All right, can I have a motion for the approval for the 2 Elizabeth program proposals?
Motion, Carmen Mendiola?
Can I have a second?
Julie Diaz.
Thanks, Julie. James, do I have a roll call vote?
Leah Couch,
Yes.
Denise Harding,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Janelle Johnson,
Yes.
William Johnson,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider.
Yes.
The 2 motions for Elizabeth carry.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Commissioner.
thank you. Take
Thank
care.
you. Take care.
Next up for consideration, 2 projects for Roselle. These projects are the authorization for Roselle to proceed with the development of a request for proposal for a 5-year plan and authorization for Roselle UEZ's request for proposal for the undertaking of a 5-year plan not to exceed $125,000. Are there any recusals or abstentions? Okay, Ms. Carpio, are you still on?
Yes, I am.
There we go. Could you provide a brief summary for each of these projects?
Yes, sure. So obviously relatively to previous project, but Roselle is requesting for the development of the 5-year plan to be able to hire a consultant that has the expertise in economic development as well as the UAZ regulations for not to exceed $125,000. This will also be to support the hiring of the UEZ consultant through a fair and open process that we are prepared to release with the approval of the board.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions? All right, may I have a motion for the approval for the 2 Roselle program proposals?
Motion, Denise Harding.
Can I have a second?
Janelle Johnson.
Thank you, Janelle. James, may I have a roll call vote?
Leah Couch,
Yes.
Denise Harding,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Janelle Johnson,
Yes.
William Johnson,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider.
Yes.
The 2 motions for Roselle carry.
All right, great. Thank you. All right, this concludes the action items on our agenda. We will move forward with receiving public comments at this time. Members of the public, please note you can press *6 to mute and unmute yourself. As a reminder, please keep your comments limited to the jurisdiction of this entity and limit it to 2 minutes. Are there any public comments? All right, if there are no public comments, I would like to thank everyone for their time and participation. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Julie
Motion
Diaz.
to adjourn.
Oh, motion, second. I
Denise
heard
Harding.
Julie and Denise, thank you.
Denise Harding, yeah.
All right, James, have a roll call vote?
Leah Couch,
Yes.
Denise Harding,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Janelle Johnson,
Yes.
William Johnson,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider.
Yes.
The motion carries.
All right, thank you, everyone. This concludes our meeting. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks, James.